What's up everybody, Greg here with Lens Portigo and Lens Rentals, and in today's video we're going to be looking at the fifth lens in the Tokina Vista Prime set, the 85mm. We're going to be going through a bunch of different tests from flaring, breathing, bokeh, edge distortion, and sharpness, as well as close focus. If you want to check out any of the other lenses, all of their tests are going to be linked to in the description down below. And if you want to learn more about these lenses, I did a video talking all about the physical characteristics and the usability of these lenses. So without further ado, let's jump right into the first test, looking at the 85mm. So we're going to start right off with our breathing test, going through the full aperture range, racking to close focus first, and then going to infinity. And if you look on the edges, that's where you're going to see if there's any breathing with these lenses. And like I've said with the rest of the lenses in the set, these ones have very, very minimal breathing with them, as you can see from this footage that we're looking at right now. So going all the way to infinity, and then just coming back to our subject's focus, which is about 8.5 feet. Next up, we're going to look at our bokeh test, going from wide open at T1.5 all the way down to T22, and just sort of moving through that full aperture range. As you can see in the background, we have some really circular, really smooth bokeh. And when you get wide open, you do start to see a little bit of some like rings inside of the bokeh, but it's still really smooth and you're not getting any sharp edges. Now just going through the full aperture range, so T22, T16, T11, T8, T5.6, T4, T2.8, T2, and T1.5. Next up, we're going to look at edge distortion and the sharpness, so panning from side to side to see how sharp that image is across the whole frame, as well as if there's any distortion from the barrel or the elements in the lens. And being a longer focal length like the 85mm, we're keeping that sharpness across the entire frame and having very minimal distortion. Next up is the flaring test, and we're going to be starting off with a light that's pretty dimmed down, and you're not really seeing any flares with a smaller light source like this. But once we start bumping it up, you do start to see a little bit of these green and blues, even a kind of rainbow effect starting at blue in the middle and going out towards red rings on the outside of the lens. And you're really only seeing this when the light is in the frame. Once you start going outside the frame, you're not really getting too much flares in there. But again, once that light is in the frame, you're seeing it pretty heavily. And then the last thing is our close focus. We're wide open at T1.5 at 37.5 inches. And we're getting some really nice bokeh in the background, but we're not getting as tight as we got with the 50mm that we just looked at. So that's going to wrap it up for the lens test of the 85mm, the fifth lens in the set. If you guys have any questions about this lens or the test that we ran, make sure to let me know in the comments along with any other lenses you'd like to see me do. If you want to try this lens out for yourself, there's going to be links in the description below along with all the other lens tests to check out the other ones in the set. If you want to see more of these lens tests, make sure to let me know by hitting that like button, subscribe for new videos every single week, and I'll see you in the next one.